It's Kim Hinton. Today I'm going to share with you about how to make Google Slides interactive by creating interactive activities for your students that can be done whether you're virtual or whether you're in person. This will be a 4-part series so that you'll have smaller videos to watch and you can go back and rewind the parts of the videos that you need to see again, but it won't be so long that it's hard to keep up with. So the 4 types of activities that I'm going to show you are listed here. And we have the drag and drop slides, graphic organizer templates, task card activities, and board games. So part 1's lesson is going to start with the drag and drop slides. So let's get started by making interactive Google Slides using drag and drop. First of all, I want to show you an example of what a drag and drop slide is. This slide, when you get ready to send it out to students to use, students will work with this in edit mode. They will need to make their own copy of the presentation so that they can only work on their copy and not mess up your copy or not work on it at the same time as another student is working on theirs. And I will show you after we create the interactivities how to post those to your Google Classroom. So this drag and drop slide is just a simple label the parts of a flower activity. So these buttons over here can be clicked on and moved around. They're the drag and drop piece of this activity. But if I try to click on the directions, or if I try to click on the flower, if I try to click on these boxes where I want the student to put the buttons, all of this does not move. So I will show you how to set a background with all of these images and the directions in the background so students can't move around those pieces. The only pieces that can be moved are the pieces that you want to be moved. So for example, I can click and drag the word petal over to the correct box, and so it points to the petal. And I can do the same with all of these other buttons. Okay. All right, so now let's look at how to do this. To start this, I just started with a blank slide. You would just start with a new slide presentation, and if there's any text boxes on here when you first open up that presentation, just delete the text boxes. Now I want to recreate the slide that I had a second ago, and so I want to show you how to get this flower image. So all I did was go to Insert, Image, and search the web, and I searched the web for a flower image. Once I found one that I wanted, I was able to copy and paste that onto my screen. Sometimes you have images that have things in the background that you don't want on your final product. So a great website to go to get rid of all of the extra stuff that may be on a picture is lunapic.com. So it's a photo editing software that is just available online, and it's free. So I would go to Upload, and I would find the flower picture that I had found on the internet earlier. This was the picture that I found. I'm going to upload it into this site. And so you can see how different this looks than what was on my final product. And so on this site, you can crop pictures, you can erase parts of pictures. So just to crop this picture, I clicked on crop up here. It was already ready for me. Or I could also go to adjust and edit, and crop image. So I'm just going to click on it right here. And I'm going to scale this box that is around the image, and I want to take out as much of the words that I can, but I'll go back in and fix those in a minute too so that you can't see any of the words. So now I've cropped the part that I want in the picture. I'm going to hit crop image, and now it's left me with this. So I can see that there's still parts of this picture that I don't want to be seen in the final product. So I'm going to say crop another area. And then I'm just going to pull a box right here, right over the word flower, because I don't want that to show anymore. And you use this button right here that says remove and inpaint. And when I click on that, it removes the word flower, and it also painted that box in the same color as the background that I have here. So I'm going to do that a few more times to get rid of the word leaf, remove and inpaint. And I want to also get rid of the word stem, so to crop another area, I'm going to crop out the word stem, remove and inpaint. Crop another area again, and then there's this part over here that I don't want to show. So remove and inpaint again. And now I have this looking the way I want it. And so now I can save this picture that I have here. I'll just do that by going over here and clicking on the save image icon. I'm going to save it as a JPG. And if I jump back over into the slideshow, it put the image down here at the bottom of my screen for me. So really all I have to do is click and drag that image into my slide. Now I want to make boxes so the students know where to place their button. So I'm going to go to shape. I'm just going to pick a square. I'm going to make a shape. And then I can change the color of the shape I want. I can change the thickness of the line around the shape. Just customize however I want that to look. And then if you hit Control D or Command D if you're using a Mac, it duplicates that box. Well, I need 4 boxes. And then I can drag those same shapes, same formatted boxes as the first one to wherever I want them to be. So I want them to be here so that a student can label the parts of the plant. And now the only other piece of this that I want to put in that I don't want students to be able to move around is the directions. So I'm going to insert a text box. I'm going to put the directions in here. I have one already made, so just to save some time, I'm just going to copy and paste the same directions into the directions box up here. So all of this is what I want to show in the background. These are all of the pieces that I don't want students to be able to move once it's time for them to work with this. So now that I have this all set up, I'm going to go to File, Download, and I'm going to download just this slide as a PNG image or a JPEG image. Okay, so now that is what it looks like with the background all set up. So now I need another new slide so that I can add the background. So I'm going to go to background. Before I do this, actually, you can see that that PNG file that I made shows up down here. And I'm going to drop that into my Google Drive so that I'll be able to go and find it to be able to add it as a background. So now I'm back to my blank Google slide. I'm going to go to background, choose image. I put it in my Google Drive. I'm going to click on recent because it was the last thing I did. I can find it right here. I click on it to select it and click insert and done. And now I have inserted that image as the background of this Google slide. If you look, I cannot click on any of these boxes. I cannot move any pieces. So now I want to make the movable pieces so that a student can interact with this slide. So to create those buttons, I'm going to again make a shape. I want the shape to fit in this box, so I want it to be the same size. So I'm just going to use the shape tool and draw my shape right over the top of this other shape so that I know it'll be the same size. And then I'm going to move it right over here to where I want it to live until the students are ready to work with it. I'm going to format this shape. And then I'm going to duplicate this shape 3 more times. I have all of the exact same shape size. And then I can put the text inside these boxes. Format the text to the way I want it to look. And now I've created my first drag and drop Google slide that a student can interact with. So now if you look, I can move these boxes to wherever I want them to be. So now I want to share this with a student so that they can be able to use it. I could share it a couple different ways. One thing I could do is send a link to this student. And I could go to share and share it with the students that I want to have the link. I could also, at the end of this, delete everything that's after that last /, including the word edit, and type the word copy. And so when a student clicks on this link, then they will be forced to make a copy of this presentation to keep for themselves. And so then I can copy and paste this link either into an email, into a HyperDoc, into some kind of learning menu that I'm sending out to students. But when I put that word copy, it forces the students to create their own copy to put in their own Google Drive. Now, another way to do this is if you want to assign this through your Google Classroom. So you go to classroom.google.com. You'll choose the classroom that you want to assign this assignment in. So for me, I'm just going to use this example class. I'm going to go to classwork and create an assignment. I'm just going to call it a flower slide. I can add my instructions in here. And now I need to add the assignment. So I can say Google Drive. This is the Google Slides presentation that I'm actually working from. So I'm going to click on that, hit insert. And then right here, you want to make sure that this says make a copy for each student. That way, a student gets their own copy that will be saved in their own Google Drive. And if you chose this one, that means they would be editing your file and you don't want that to happen. And if you chose this one, that means the student will only be able to view the file. So I want to make a copy for each student. You can see over here that it's going to my example class. If you're a special ed teacher and you don't want to send it to everybody in the class, you only have specific students that you're sending this lesson to, you can click on all students and deselect and choose the student that you want to send the assignment to. I can decide how many points I want it to be, or I can leave it as ungraded, give it a due date, select a topic for it to go under. And after I have done all that, I can click assign, and it's going to assign it to, for me, just for that one student that's in my Google Classroom. So if you look right here, it showed up under flower parts. I'm going to click on that. I can see I've only assigned it to the one student, and I can see which student I assigned that to. And now the student can go in and they can work with that